TJ, I don't know if you got a chance to see the qualifying. If not, we can talk about the race. What are your thoughts overall on the race? Race one was pretty close. It was for me looking at it. I thought that Ducati was gonna run away with it, but that didn't happen. What are your thoughts on the race?
I mean, it was a nice battle, like seeing Cam and Josh Herron right up front, and Bobby fighting China, uh, get his place in. And I was gonna say, ever since like early in the season, all the rain racing, and was talking to Reese about Bobby to get in his like behind to get better in the rain. He's been on a tear ever since. So it's really cool to see how hot he's been, even though like I look at like Yamaha factory, like Jake Gagne is like the one to beat basically. But Bobby, for his first time on Yamaha, new team and just coming out really hot at this time of the year is really good to see for him to get the win for race one. So that was really good.
Nice, nice. Lewis, man, what about yourself? What are your thoughts on race one? Cam was looking really good as well. To me, he seems like he's still kind of struggling with staying on the bike a bit and just running up front. But when he's up there, he can run with these guys. What are your thoughts on race one?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what Cam's issue is, man, because it's some races he's super competitive, other races like he kind of struggles, he becomes a mid-pack rider. I know that talent-wise, the guy has the talent to run at the front with anybody. So, I don't want to blame the bike, but it's got to be something with the bike or the bike setup or something is not giving him the comfort to race at the front where he should be on a consistent basis. We'll talk about race two when race two comes up. But again, inconsistency has been one of his Achilles heels. He started the year pretty consistent, and then at some point in the year, something happened, and he started to become very, very inconsistent in the top three, out of the top three, not finishing in the top five, struggling mid-race, losing pace, super strong at the beginning of the race, crashing. I mean, it's just been a real roller coaster year for him. And I don't want to say it's him because, I mean, the dude knows how to ride. He's been around enough tracks and done enough laps. So is it something with the bike? Is it something with him physically that still hasn't recovered? Because, I mean, the last couple of years, he has been beat up more than just about any racer in MotoAmerica. Multiple concussions, contusions. Maybe it's just getting to that point where his body is starting to give him some feedback on, hey, man, I can't keep doing this consistently. And, he did great this weekend overall, but we'll see how it goes. He's got to get that consistency back because if he can't, then he's got to look at something else, man. Maybe it's just he's not gelling with that package. He's not gelling with the BMW. Maybe the team isn't gelling with him. Something's got to change. A guy with that kind of pedigree, he's got to look for options. He's at the tail end of his career realistically. And, the last thing you want to do is spend the last couple of years of your life, riding around in eighth place just to get a check. These guys at the front, they're competitive, man. They want to wake up every weekend and know they have a chance to win or at least get on the podium. And when that starts to become a little bit of a distant thing in the rearview mirror, like you start to lose your drive to get up every morning and do this. Like, why am I doing this, man? For eighth place? I got a lot of money in the bank, man. I don't need to do this.
All right. I'll pose this to all you guys. Do you think with the issue like with Cam, and not necessarily issue, but the inconsistency, and we could say, and I think of Sean Dylan Kelly in the same breath as well. These guys, do you think it's something that's just coming from Moto2 back over to the U.S. having to sort that out, or in Cam's case, just having one bike on the grid instead of two to have a teammate to bounce stuff off of? What do you guys think? I'll start with Reese.
I mean, that is a definite fact. I mean, not having two riders on the team, that is definitely hard because, as a crew member, and I learned over the years, a lot of riders like, oh, it's the bike. When it's not the bike and you don't have nothing to bounce over to or figure out what's going on, when sometimes it can be the rider or, this rider, it's two different things. So having two riders in the same box definitely helps and plays a factor in it. And coming back from Moto2, no, I mean, you got to look at Sean Dylan Kelly. Sean Dylan Kelly coming back from Moto2, riding with those guys over there, you know, when he was first here, he wasn't that type of rider. He come back over here. This guy's on a new tear. He's a lot more aggressive, and he rides with it more of it. If you watch him, little techniques, he rides more with his elbows out. Same thing with Cam. Cam's starting to ride with his elbows out. So I mean, coming back from Moto2, it does help him. It gives him that little bit more aggressive edge, and kind of learn how to more manage tires and push it to that ultimate limit. So that's there, and you know, to speak on Cam, I don't know if it's the bike or it's him, but it's like, I mean, just being honest, you got to look at this. A lot of people know that the BMW is fast. It is fast in a straight line, but outside of one rider, Top Rack, how many times do you see the BMW up top?
Yeah.
It's not.
All right, TJ, you want to add anything to that?
I mean, I agree everything we're reset pretty much, but I just think that Cam is just still figuring out the BMW in a way, or you know, it's just so they just have the right setup at the times they need it. He's definitely been not as aggressive. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's just more relaxed of just competing and not trying not to crash and just trying to get points and tail it out to the end of the season. But I think he can do a lot better. I think it's just he's trying to pick out the BMW a little more. Sean Dan Kelly has been doing really good. So I'm actually happy we haven't talked about race 2, but it's really good to see, you know, one of my favorite bands, Suzuki, up there. To stir up the pot a little bit, you know, we always see the same manufacturers, and, you know, we want to see the season shake up a little bit, but at this point, the points is where they're at. But it's good to see Suzuki up there.
Yeah, for sure. Let's jump into race 2, and guys, feel free to jump into anything else. I was surprised that the Suzuki's was going to get second and third. I think maybe even the Suzuki guys might have been surprised at that. You know, as you mentioned, you know, Sean Dylan Kelly's been close, but it's been the Yamaha and the Ducati show, except, you know, were you surprised, Reese, how well you know the Suzuki's were doing in race 2?
I mean, I was very surprised. I mean, and that we was all kind of taken back. Like, I mean, to watch Richie do what he did, and some of there was one of the passes he did on Gagne and Sean Dylan Kelly was top notch, but it was to the limit. But he was one of the fastest guys out there besides Bobby on that track. I mean, his splits were second to none. Like, it was like he's coming.
All he needed was wings, man. He was missing the wings. If he had the wings, it would have been a wrap. That new Suzuki is going to be a wrap with the wings.
like Red Bull gives you wings.
Yeah, man.
Right.
You know,
Only back on the track without wings.
Yeah,
The Suzuki R1000. Even the R7 has wings. The R9 has wings. Once the Suzuki has wings, you guys are in for it, man. I'm just telling you.
Call the R9 wings. That look like fangs.
So what you're saying, Lewis, is that the 2026 Jixxa is going to be a problem?
It's going to be a problem.
Oh, yeah, it is.
All right. Got wings. That's all it takes.
With less power.
You're right.
Yeah, it's less power when you buy it, but it's already built with high compression, so you can get more power out of it after you like take it outside of the Euro 5 rules or Euro 5B, whatever they're at now. So yeah,
Euro 5 is a bunch of bullshit.
You take the power away when you sell it, but you build the motor in a way that you can build it up to get more power after you flash the ECU and do the exhaust and do the airbox and this and that and all the things that you can do. So you build the power plant so that you can overbuild the power plant later on. So you detune it so that you can uptune it later. Come on, man. It's got wings.
All right.
Right.
Wings are good for 3 miles an hour, at least 3 miles an hour.
Shave some weight, add some wings. What are we going to do for electronics?
I mean, it doesn't matter. At Superbikes, once they become Superbike, they rip that entire dashboard out and they put a full electronics package.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see what that bike can do. I mean,
I'm ready though.
it's still
Finally, they actually did something to update it a little bit. I mean,
I think they
the
put
bodywork all still look the same.
It's still got the same dashboard. They haven't put color on the dashboard, man. Like, how much does it cost to put color on the dashboard? Like $50?
Yeah, bike shouldn't be coming with single color screens anymore.
Green and gray?
Yeah.
You mean green and gray shouldn't be colors on a screen? They should probably have some red.
Hey man, it's all bold new graphics with wings.
TJ, what are your thoughts on what the Suzuki did? I know you're a huge fan of Suzuki. You've owned about 10 of them.
I mean,
sorry.
yeah. Don't be sorry for me. See, I'm here to. When I ride, I'm here. I ride clean. You know, like I'm respectful. You look at my bike, my tires, whatever. You're like, oh, he can ride, but I'm not out there with T-shirt or repping the Gixxer way. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here to clean slate that. You know what I'm saying? But the 2026, I think, for the street version is really good. Like they got a lot of text added to it, like traction control, wire by throttle, launch control. They just added a lot of new features to the bike, which is what is needed. Unfortunately, the frame and the bodywork looks still the same in the headlight, but for the most part, I'm excited for what this bike and what it's gonna become. And we'll test ride it and see what it's like.
Right. And so were you surprised like everyone else what they Suzuki did, Sean Dillon Kelly and Richie did? And it was pretty impressive.
I'm more surprised at what Richie did because don't really hear his name too often. Like the Daytona 200, he's pretty competitive in, but when it comes to like the actual racing, he's not always up front. So I'm surprised that he did really well at this track. And I actually seen him in person at Loudon too, so seeing him how he can ride in different tracks is really cool. Sean didn't tell you know where he came from. Definitely rode really well. They definitely had a good package set up for them to finish second and third. So whatever they had instructed to them, they followed it to the T and performed really well. So it was very impressive for that. But yeah, I'm most impressed about Escalante.
Got you. Anything you want to add to that, Lewis, before we talk about Heron and his crash and how he got back up on a bike to at least get 1 or 2 points?
No, I mean I agree with everything. I'm definitely happy to see Suzuki competitive. I mean, at the beginning of the year, a lot of people said that the bike overall had a lot of grip and the bike overall had a lot of top end, and it's just trying to put all together all the pieces. Because again, you can have a lot of grip and a lot of top end, but if you don't have a lot of edge grip, if you don't have a lot of this, a lot of that, I mean, if you look at both of the Suzukis towards the end of each race, coming on a straightaway, man, those bikes were dancing out of the last corner down a straightaway, wheeling. I mean, the electronics package was having a heart attack trying to keep up with everything they're doing because they're trying to squeeze everything they can. And it's great to have grip and it's great to have power, but if you can't put it to the ground in a good way, then, again, you're going to get eaten up on the straightaways. You're going to lose a lot of cornering. So what Richie did in a couple of the corners where he kind of cut the double right-hander, I think this turn 3-4, and he was able to slide in under somebody in the brakes. And it's a really short corner-to-corner shot. So if you go around that one left-hander, before you get to that next left-hander, that's a really short corner, and you got to really overslow the bike if you got that shallow inside line. So for him to kind of get it underneath Cameron and Jake in that area, that's, that just shows the dude had ultimate confidence in his front end, and they gave him something, at least on the front end, they gave him that confidence. So I'm hoping that from here, Suzuki can keep building on this and hopefully we can see those bikes on a podium a little bit more often, and hopefully before the end of the year, one of them maybe gets a top spot on the podium.